forgot what we were doing.
Okay. I'm still here. Let's see. Yep, I'm still here.
There you go. Time for Midday with Joe.
It's hard to play the drums drinking coffee.
Yeah. Well, we were kind of distracted there. We were looking at Fantasy Fest online.
Yeah.
This is a good Starbucks coffee from the Paddock Lawn, by the way.
Nice.
Go ahead. I'm glad it's good.
It is, yeah. I've had coffee that made hair grow on the back of my head. I wish it would grow on the top of my head, but that's beside the point. Yeah, some things should be left at home. And I'm sorry.
Your comment about Fantasy Fest. I went one
Fantasy Fest is fine if you're in the shape to do Fantasy Fest.
When I went, I only went one time, and I feel like the paintings on the human bodies were like flowers and pretty and kind of tasteful.
Yeah, that's that. Now it's like two owl eyes, And it was like, are you serious? And then, no.
And that was all daytime. I think at nighttime it became more fun. Maybe that was the...
I don't know, but like I say, some of that should be left at home.
Well, it starts today if you want to go down. It's a 10-day event. But actually...
Let me think. No.
But the biggest day, from what I understand, is when the parade happens.
Well, that's what you were watching, the parade.
No.
That wasn't the parade?
No.
It looked like a parade of people walking by, all people on the side of the road looking. Barricades were up.
No, that's just Key West for the next 10 days.
Oh, so they have a parade?
Yeah.
With floats?
Oh, yeah, the floats are amazing. Because
they're Halloween floats, right?
They have
boobies?
What?
They have boobies. It's a Halloween float. Bees with masks on top of them. They're boobies.
Oh, I don't know about that. Oh. But they use forklifts for the skeleton, if you will. It's an amazing.
Oh, it makes it like it walks.
Like dragons with long necks, and they lift their heads. It's amazing, really.
Well, that's pretty good.
The parade doesn't even reflect at all what all that naked stuff is. It's just, except for one naked lady in the bagpipers. I did see that.
So you differentiated her from the other bagpipers?
Yeah, she didn't have the kilt. Yeah.
Okay.
She didn't have anything, right?
She didn't have anything.
She was just totally
She was
naked.
blowing the bag.
She was just walking. No, she was.
Good coffee.
I want to go to the event though, where you get to pick if somebody's in pain or not.
I don't want to see that. Well, it's behind a curtain anyway, so you have to guess.
That's what they say. Yeah.
I wonder if they have a light on or not.
Well, if they didn't have that curtain, then you wouldn't...
No, in other words, a shadow. You just see a shadow,
Well, can't you see the faces of the people that are sitting in the chairs?
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
That's the photo I saw.
Yeah, those are
so
behind
from the neck
curtain.
down, it's covered. From the neck up, you can see.
No, it's like right now. I can't see anything below your midsection.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you had something going on down there, we wouldn't know unless we watched your face.
And the whole thing is the science study. It was actually a science study, right? Do you still have it?
It was. It was.
That says that the face that happens when you're in that pleasurable moment is the same face you make when you're in pain.
No.
That's what they say. Is that what they say? Oh, that's their conclusion?
That's their conclusion. That's not my conclusion. Not my conclusion. And I'm not making that face either.
And so one person is getting their foot poked with a pin.
Yeah, their high point.
And the other people are having something.
Their high point.
Else happening.
That's right. This study was done at the University of Glasgow and De Montfort University in a new white paper.
What will they not study?
Well, look at it this way, Joe. At least it was the U.S. taxpayers that paid for that study.
Oh, there's some. You want to go? You do a whole hour just reading slowly.
I know.
Or fast. Every single thing that our tax dollars are wasted on.
I know.
And it's like, are you serious? They studied what? How long flies can be frozen, then brought back to life? Come on. Okay, do it once. But no, we had to do it each day. We had these in order, and this is 25 days. Oh, get it out. All right, we got 26 days next to it. Let's go. Okay, it flew. Then what did they do between that time? Sip coffee and play cards? It's time to wake up to fly. You didn't wake up. It only lasted so many days. Okay.
Joe, if you think about it, the entire space station program is an experiment. If you think about it.
Do I have to?
It's a study. So whatever that cost
We're paying for it.
You're paying for it. I mean, I'm not against
Well,
it. I'm
the
just
thing
saying.
is, they are paving the way for 2055 or something like that, where we will be out there in colonies, and then they'll say, well, the tomatoes grow bigger because there's less gravity, so forth and so on.
Maybe.
Well, that's what they're growing things up there.
Right.
You know.
It's all a big experiment.
It is. Oh, sure.
Yeah. Maybe life is an experiment. Maybe we're God's experiment.
I just wouldn't want to be up there going to the bathroom. I just wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want it because it's everything's no gravity. You go one way and oh man, come on now. Why are you wasting so much toilet? You moved, that's why. The spaceship moved, that's why. Space station moved, that's why.
Joe, you've been to the Space Center, right?
No, I never have yet.
Oh, really? Whenever
That is in Titusville?
Yes.
Yeah. Whenever they have an astronaut giving like a presentation,
That's one of the questions all the time.
the kids always ask that question.
Where do you go poop? In our pants. We poop in our pants and we wear it depends. Now there's a marketing ploy that hasn't been used yet. They've got these young ladies with the pens on. They show them, why don't they use the astronauts and help pay for the nonsense? They got to go sometimes. I'm sorry. They have to go somewhere.
Well, they were doing that study about the twins, though. One of the astronauts had an identical twin here on Earth, and
Yeah.
that male astronaut
Right.
was up there for about a year, and then
Right.
when he came back, they were doing studies, and
One was shorter than the other?
Well, he was different on
Really?
the inside.
Oh, on the inside?
Everything, yeah.
Wow.
That was
But
pretty interesting.
they say like a drop of water can destroy everything in the place because it floats and then it gets into the electronics
Yeah.
and it can destroy it. So they have to when they drink they have to no backflush. Everything's got little valves that whatever.
That guy from Canada, the Canadian astronaut,
A Canuck,
he was playing with water on the video.
and it just shows. You know what it looks like if you ever have dropped or ever seen mercury
Yes.
on a surface.
Right.
That's the way it looks like. That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
I used to have those thermometers when I was a kid.
They say
we'd break them, and it was all the mercury.
Right.
Yeah.
They say it's
around all
against the
the
law to
time.
own mercury or something or
Yeah,
something else.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Why?
Yeah. Because it's dangerous. It'll kill you.
How?
If you ingest it, I think.
Well, then you're stupid. I'm sorry. That's the only word that came out of my mind. I've got 8 ounces of mercury. Watch. Blah, 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 blah. See, it doesn't.
There's a lot of stuff we did and had as kids that are considered dangerous.
You learn from others, number one. Like someone playing on the swing and he jumps off, boom, and it hurts his arm. Well, I'm not going to do that because I just seen him do that.
Right. Right.
No, I don't care. I got this mercury. Watch. It tastes so. Hey, he had 8 ounces. 7 ounces will work. Right? No, it's.
Yeah, well, you've had those stories about getting the Freon out of the air conditioning units a couple years ago from the children. They would go to the air conditioning units and try to get high
I get
because
it.
they would
Well, even.
siphon the Freon out.
Well, I'm surprised they still allow helium in balloons because when you. And
Yeah,
you
that
talk.
was fun. That
Right.
was fun.
You know how dangerous that is for your lungs if you do it too much?
I bet.
Yeah.
It is.
I bet it is.
It's a proven fact. So, but they still sell helium, so maybe people learn their thing. We have a caller during Midday with Joe. Good morning. Can I help you?
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, when I was a kid, we read Tom Swift books. And Tom Swift, the Swift family made a space station in orbit that turned constantly, so there was gravity on the thing.
Isn't that true? Isn't that what happens, though? Now, I mean, centrifugal force?
The International Space Station is just in free float.
Right. Well, it's not made in a circle.
In a circular shape.
Yeah, they have it made in a circle, like Odyssey, right? 2001: A Space Odyssey. Yeah.
One in the circular shape that he constantly turned. At least that was the novel, anyway.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you. Thank you very. He comes. Thank you, Jim. Take care. He comes in with these scientific things, yeah. But we haven't had a round donut, quote unquote, space station where 2001: A Space Odyssey it would turn, and they're saying centrifugal force makes it like an artificial gravity. I don't know if that's happened yet or not. Logically, on the space station, ours are little cubicles the size of our studio, quote unquote, here. So, but I don't know how big the space station is. Do you, Robin?
I have no clue as to how big it is.
How good it is either.
I can see it though, because you go to nasa.gov and it'll tell you where you are, and it comes over at nighttime, and then you can see the tiny flickering of it, and then you
Really?
I watch it until it
Well, that's so
disappears.
airplanes don't hit it. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. You can see the colorful part of it.
Oh,
and
it'll be
disappear.
after our time, but they will have to have beacons and things on there for all the space travel that'll be happening. Watch out! This is shuttle number 441. Watch out for 442. Okay,
But that's
it's gonna
interesting.
happen,
How big is it?
I wish I had
Dimensions.
a pill, that I could transport myself, transport myself to the future. Because I don't want to wait till I'm 170 to see all this, because I wouldn't be worth poop.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can see it there.
Well, that Rolls Royce is out now, right? The 2035, you
So
said?
that's what it says.
The what's out now?
The Rolls Royce.
The 2035
Have you
Rolls
seen it?
Royce.
No.
Oh, you gotta see this car.
It's a car for 2035?
That's
A
what it
Rolls
says.
Royce,
That's what it
yeah.
says.
Well, what happened to the rest of the years in between?
I don't know.
Gee!
No steering wheel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's that one with no steering wheel, yeah.
And the roof comes up so you can just walk in. You don't have to bend over.
Oh, now that
down.
as a man of height, I appreciate that, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, everybody, I hope you're set. You give me the time later, Larry.
I'll give you the time in about 7 seconds.
7 seconds, it'll be 1 minute. All right, I got you covered.
You're set for 7 seconds.
There we go. You got it set for 7 seconds.
What the heck was that?
I don't know, but something set for 7
I
seconds.
did something by
Perfect
mistake on my
timing,
phone.
Robin, whatever that was. Hey, everybody, thank you for the week of your time.
What happened?
Thank you for the week of your time
talking to my
listening to
phone.
WOCA. We appreciate you listening. Oh, we're going crazy over there. We appreciate you listening to us, especially during Animal Cal Live with my cohorts over here, Larry and Robin. They're the team of teams here. They keep the ship afloat, giving you information, entertainment, and everything else in between. I do mean that, everything else in between. That's for sure. So to keep everything rolling. Hey, have a great weekend. There's a zillion things to do this weekend. Of course, you heard about those all on WOCA. We are Marion County and Ocala, forever yours, and we respectfully thank you. This is WOCA, Ocala, broadcasting from the Paddock Mall.
Midday with Joe.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. There's new fighting in northern Syria the day after a 5-day ceasefire with Turkey was announced by Vice President Pence. Dave Eubank is there with Kurds and tells Fox.
And you know what the people say? They say, "Where's America? Why did you do this? Why did you leave? Why did you leave us?"
He's a former Special Forces soldier who runs the aid organization Free Burma Rangers. President Trump says he withdrew American troops for their safety. His acting chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, had Justice Department officials who spoke to Fox angry and confused for telling reporters yesterday that military aid to Ukraine was tied to an investigation into 2016 election meddling.
Those comments were later walked back by Mulvaney in a statement. Mulvaney's assertion that Ukraine's cooperating in an ongoing investigation with the Department of Justice angered DOJ officials as well as the president's lawyers.
Fox's John Decker at the White House. Mulvaney says now there was no quid pro quo. America's listening to Fox News.
You wouldn't use an 18-wheeler to teach your son how to drive. It's too big. And you wouldn't take a family road trip in his toy car. It's too small. But using the Mercedes-Benz Metris cargo van to run your business? Just right. Only the Metris can haul, stow, and tow more than any other van in its class. It has the maneuverability to get through the toughest jobs and fits in your garage, too. And now with 0% financing, it's built around your budget. Because if you can't picture your son behind the wheel of a monster truck or squeezing your family inside a 2-seat convertible, we don't blame you. The only thing you need to picture is where the Metris can take your business. The Mercedes-Benz Metris. With 0% financing and starting at $26,570, it's just right. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
MSRP excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep fee. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details about costs and terms. Only valid on 2018 or 2019 Mercedes-Benz Metris vans. Qualified commercial customers only. Offer valid through January 2nd, 2020.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. The Florida Highway Patrol is reporting that a hit-and-run accident left a 14-year-old girl from Micanopy dead and another 14-year-old girl in critical condition. Police are looking for an older model Ford pickup truck or Bronco missing its driver's side mirror. Tropical storm warnings have been issued for Florida's Gulf Coast from Yankeetown to the Panhandle as the National Hurricane Center tracks potential tropical storm Nestor. A former 28-year-old New Smyrna Beach high school teacher was arrested yesterday after authorities accused her of sexual misconduct with a 16-year-old male student. The Coast Guard is searching for a small plane in the Gulf of Mexico after a trauma surgeon flew the aircraft hundreds of miles beyond its intended destination. Key West's sensual annual Fantasy Fest celebration begins today, kicking off 10 days of festivities, and Disney World has added Cheetah Rivera and Warwick Davis to its list of celebrity narrators for this year's Candlelight Processional at Epcot. And that is your news brief from The Source.
Some sun giving way to increasing clouds on this Friday with a high between 76 in the northern part of the zone to 83 in the south. And Friday night will be cloudy and humid with periods of rain, those ranging from 67 in the northernmost part of the zone to 76 in the south. Saturday will be cloudy, breezy, and humid with showers and even a thunderstorm, the high 82 to 86. And for Sunday, partly sunny, warm and humid. There can be a shower or thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon, high 85 to 89. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
The College of Central Florida is committed to being your first choice for quality higher education. CF has locations in Marion, Citrus, and Levy counties and offers more than 60 academic programs. Earn a certificate, associate, or bachelor's degree with Florida's 2+2 program. A student can complete an associate in arts at CF and be guaranteed admission to a state of Florida university. CF is ranked number 13 in the U.S. for affordability, is military friendly, and offers a full student life experience. Make CF your first choice. Call 352-873-5800.
Hi, I'm Brian, and I'm a comfort keeper. I spend a few hours each week caring for seniors in their homes to lend a hand or just be there when they need me.
Being a comfort keeper is a rewarding and fulfilling career. Comfort keepers provide non-medical in-home care and companionship for seniors on a full or part-time basis.
Call 855-592-0013 to learn how to apply to the Comfort Keepers team.
Do something good for your career and for others. Be a comfort keeper. Comfort Keepers offices are independently owned and operated.
Hi, this is Will.
And this is Wendy of Dex Imaging in Gainesville and Ocala. You know, we live and work in this community just like you, and we wanted to personally invite you to call us with any questions or concerns about your copiers or printers.
Like, how can I save money on my toner? That stuff's expensive.
In most cases, a complimentary workflow analysis has shown we can save your business 20 to 30% on printing cost.
Have you been kicking around the idea of going paperless? Are you considering a document management solution? Maybe you just want to ask some questions, but don't want to be bombarded by aggressive salespeople.
Give us a call. We'll be happy to answer your questions and show you how you can save money with our award-winning copiers and printers and our amazing service team.
Who, in case you didn't know, will be there in 4 hours or less to service your machine guaranteed, and we have a 97% first-time fix rate. Check us out at deximaging.com or give us a call.
In Ocala, dial 352-433-4090. That's 433-4090.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. In addition to our pasture mowing and tractor services, including our zero-turn mowers for your fence line finish. Also available, stump grinding, rototilling, and fence row spraying. We are family-owned and operated, licensed and insured, and farm-ready. Powell Gene, Gene, at yahoo.com, 352-629-2440. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
Fusion of entertainment and enlightenment. This is the Glenn Beck Program.
We have breaking news from Ukraine. Washington Post has this first. George Kent, a Deputy Assistant Secretary of State, testified yesterday that he worried about Hunter Biden's position at the firm Burisma. And he worried that it would complicate efforts by U.S. diplomats to convey to Ukrainian officials the importance of avoiding conflicts of interest. This is from multiple sources, spoke on the condition of anonymity because of confidentiality rules surrounding the deposition, and also they didn't want to get murdered by Hillary Clinton. I don't know if that's actually true, but it's part of it. Kent said he had some concerns that Ukrainian officials would view Hunter Biden as a conduit for currying influence with his father, said the People. But when Kent raised the issue with Biden's office, he was told the then vice president didn't have the bandwidth to deal with the issue because his other son, Beau, was battling cancer. Now, look, that's a really serious thing and very difficult to do. However, as vice president of the United States, you can't really answer questions with, I don't have the bandwidth. It's not one of your available responses. It's like when you're in the multiple choice test and you're taking like the SATs and you're just filling in C every time, hoping you can get a quarter of them right. There's never one when you're vice president of the United States is, I don't really have the time. I don't really have the bandwidth to deal with that. It's not something you can do, despite the terrible circumstances surrounding it. Kent is the first known example of a career diplomat who has raised concerns internally in the Obama administration about Hunter Biden's board position. A former senior Biden national security aide, speaking on the condition of anonymity, had no recollection of hearing about Kent's concerns and also never heard a concern raised by the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine at the time. The first time the aide recalls Hunter Biden's involvement surfacing as an issue was in December 2015, and this is going to be a nice little throwback for you. You're going to remember this one. Oh, we celebrated this almost daily back in these days when the vice president traveled to Ukraine to deliver an anti-corruption speech, and the New York Times wrote about his son's role. You see, they heard about it on the news. Remember when every single thing in the Obama administration was littered and attached to that excuse? We heard about it in the news. We had no idea it was even going on until the news told us. The corruption with Biden in Ukraine is a part of this larger story Glenn's been going over the past few weeks. And it's an important part, but it's not the entire story. It's the part of the story that very infrequently is talked about in the mainstream media, and that's partially why the Washington Post report from today is important. It's not us saying it. At some point, they're going to have to pick up the things that we're saying. People are talking about it. They're tweeting about it. They're pushing it out there, and the general population gets control of these stories, and then the mainstream media is forced to talk about them. Here is the first known example of an Obama official, very specifically testifying that they warned the Biden administration about this corruption, and nothing was done because the vice president and his office didn't have the bandwidth to deal with it. It's a fascinating early admission here, and it's just the beginning of this story as we go on. It's Glenn Stu in for Glenn. Glenn is actually, I like to do this whenever I fill in for Glenn. I like to make up fake excuses, ridiculous excuses as to why he's not in today. The best thing about today is I don't have to do that. Glenn is out because he went to go see Lady Gaga in concert. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is not something you're going to need to get the Washington Post to testify on later on. Glenn Beck is out. He's missing a day of breaking news where an Obama official testified they told Biden about this corruption and he didn't deal with it. He's out today because he went to Lady freaking Gaga. Man just does not care about America.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
So a bunch of burglars had been caught. They were asked, why are you doing this? What made you pick these homes? You know what some of them said? That they had a right to the nice things in these unprotected homes. That the unprotected homes were basically an invitation. Protect yourself with Simply Safe Home Security. With Simply Safe, trained professionals will be watching over your home 24/7. So if a burglar so much as tries to break in, a deafening siren will let him know, yeah, this is my stuff, and police are already on the way. Plus, Simply Safe's award-winning protection is still just $14.99 a month. And just for you, Simply Safe has a massive deal going on right now. If you go to simplysafebeck.com, you'll get a free home security camera when you order. That's a $100 value. It'll have eyes on your home 24/7 and video evidence if somebody tries to get in. Get your free security camera now at simplysafebeck.com. That's simplysafebeck.com.
right, so Mick Mulvaney was the big story. Mick Mulvaney, yesterday, the media is going crazy over this. He did a press conference. He came out to talk about the quid pro quo, which we have to do a montage of quid pro quo mentions, because the use of quid pro quo in the media was approximately once every 6 months until about 2 weeks ago, and now it's 75 times an hour. You cannot watch the news for 5 minutes and get past it without hearing quid pro quo said. And now they're starting to do the thing where they're like, well, that's the quid and that's the quo. We got it. You're trying to be cute. Quid pro quo, we got it. You're talking about it constantly. The idea here is Mulvaney admitted to the quid pro quo. Let's start here. This is him talking about politics, and is there an influence of politics in foreign policy? This was a huge mistake from Mulvaney, and I'll explain why in a second. Here's Mick Mulvaney yesterday.
We were holding up money at the same time for, the Northern Triangle countries. We were holding up aid at the Northern Triangle countries so that they would change their policies on immigration. By the way, and this speaks to an important point, because I heard this yesterday, and I can never remember the gentleman who testified. Was McKinney, the guy, is that his name? I don't know. He testified yesterday.
Yes.
And if you believe the news reports, okay, because we've not seen any transcripts of this. The only transcript I've seen was Sondland's testimony this morning. If you read the news reports and you believe them, what did McKinney say yesterday? Well, McKinney said yesterday that he was really upset with the political influence in foreign policy. That was one of the reasons he was so upset about this.
Oh, no.
And I have news for everybody. Get over it.
Oh my, did you guys hear that? Did you hear what he just said? Get over it? Are you kidding me? Get over it. Politics in foreign policy, that is absolutely unacceptable. He said get over it. He admitted it in front of the entire nation. This is a terrible mistake, my Mick Mulvaney. And a lot of the president's defenders are going to tell you he did a good job there. Terrible mistake there. He was actually honest. And you're not supposed to be doing that in Washington. This is completely off limits, apparently. You're not allowed to go out there and tell people what actually occurs, because who would believe that there was any political interest when it comes to foreign policy? Sure, we're talking about politicians, so you'd think maybe politics would be involved in it. And sure, they all run campaigns and talk about their foreign policy and the politics surrounding it. But when they get into the office, they become pure. They become these clean, crystal clear individuals who have no agendas and never do anything other than just serve. That's the reality of Washington, guys. Of course politics are involved when it comes to foreign policy, with every single president since the beginning of time. This is what politicians do. They do politics. Now, politics have a very bad reputation, largely because of politicians. But politics are the pursuit of what you believe the right thing to do is. That's what politics are when it comes to our government. This should not be a surprise. But he went on. He didn't just stop there. He admitted to the crime. Mick Mulvaney admitted to it in front of the country. Huge mistake here by Mulvaney. Once again, here he is talking about the quid pro quo.
I'm talking to Mr. Carl. That is going to happen. Elections have consequences, and foreign policy is going to change from the Obama administration to the Trump administration. And what you're seeing now, I believe, is a group of mostly career bureaucrats who are saying, you know what, I don't like President Trump's politics, so I'm going to participate in this witch hunt that they're undertaking on the Hill.
Okay, that's not the right clip. When we play the longer clip, does he have the long clip pulled? It's the one with the quid pro quo. It was the 2:43 clip, I believe, he pulled earlier this morning. We talked to a little behind-the-scenes baseball here. Let me know if you have that. He talked about having the quid pro quo because that was an important part of this, right? And it was part of the defense initially, right? One of the first thing was, this was, they weren't talking about this, and then it got to, well, there was no quid pro quo. There was no quid pro quo, meaning they didn't hold back the money for Ukraine in exchange for anything. they held back the money because they thought it was the right thing to do. It wasn't in exchange for the investigation of Biden. And do we have the clip, or I'll just explain it? Basically, he said, okay, here we go. Let's hear it.
What you just described is a quid pro quo. It is funding will not flow unless the investigation.
I just said this, John Carl.
The Democratic server happen as well.
We do that all the time with foreign policy. We were holding up money at the same time for, what was it, the Northern Triangle.
There it is. Okay, stop. So we do this all the time. This is a quid pro quo. We do this all the time. This is the admission of the crime to the media today. This is the whole case. He came out and he said, first they said no quid pro quo. John Carl said, hey, isn't that a quid pro quo? And he said, yeah, we do it all the time. Now, this is more of a problem with their initial defense, right, where they said there's no quid pro quo. I don't know why they said that, especially considering what they knew was on, the call and the transcript of the call, where, he doesn't, it's not a specific quid pro quo, but he mentions the investigation very closely, and it's easy to read that if you want to. Okay, but here Mulvaney actually says it. Yes, we do this all the time. We hold back money all the time for outcomes of policy that we want from foreign countries. And he goes on to explain that, gives multiple examples. Let me give you another example of this. Here's Joe Biden talking and bragging in front of an audience about him engaging in quid pro quo. Listen. Okay, well, we don't have that either. Wow, this is a good start to the show. We're off to a raging start. This is what happens when Glenn's not here. He's at Lady Gaga right now, and people are just, I think everyone's asleep. Everyone's asleep. Do we have the video of Biden from, we've played this with Ukraine a bunch of times, where he says, I think you've heard it before. This audience has already heard this stuff. It's in the special. But basically, Biden says, yeah, I held back the $1 billion so that they would fire this prosecutor. He's bragging about it on stage. It's actually the foundation, at least from my perspective. It was when we kind of got introduced to this Ukraine story in real terms. Because there were always rumors about Biden talking about, his son Hunter and all of the benefits that they got. That's always been there. However, it was really escalated when we uncovered, and I believe it was John Solomon who initially uncovered it, audio and video of Joe Biden saying he did it. He said, I will withhold $1 billion from Ukraine unless you fire this prosecutor. Think about what's being said there. I will withhold money unless I get this outcome involving a prosecution in Ukraine. The accusation against Trump is that he was withholding money so that he could get an outcome with a prosecution in Ukraine. They are nearly identical stories. The difference, of course, being that Biden admitted to it a long time ago, and now it's a massive, huge, mega impeachment story because Mick Mulvaney admitted it yesterday. And I think this is sort of complicated for the average person that maybe isn't listening to talk radio every day. You have to put yourself in the perspective of a voter that isn't you. Because you're sitting here listening to this every day. You've heard all these stories. You know all these audio clips. You've been following this stuff, but you're not average. I hate to tell you this. You're way too nerdy for this society, okay? You actually care. Remember the person who said to Ben Franklin, it's what have you given us? And he's like, a republic if you can keep it. Well, you're kind of trying to do that. That's not everybody else. There's a lot of people watching, a lot of Kardashians. So they don't see these stories and they don't understand all the ins and outs here. We all know, we know Donald Trump enough. He's been around. He's been one of the most popular and well-known figures in American society for nearly 40 years. This is not we know what Donald Trump's like. One of the reasons why he's in office is because we like the idea that he's coming out and he's just saying the stuff, right? He's saying all the stuff that people accuse politicians of, some of it good, some of it bad, he's coming out and admitting it. He's saying, you know what? Yeah, I do this, and yeah, I do that. It's one of the things that people really like about him. And I just wish we could skip to the end of the story where we realize that, look, Donald Trump, every interaction he has, he's asking people about Ukraine and what Joe Biden did there. It's probably true. Every time he gets into an Uber, he asks the person, hey, what do you know about Biden, Ukraine? You ever drive him around? Was he ever talking about it? Hey, Taco Bell delivery guy, did you ever talk to? What about you? You over there? How about you? The guy who's fixing his electricity. Did he know anything about Biden? Does he know? That's what Trump does. Can we skip to the end of that story and admit that that's just what's happening here? It's what he cares about. So what he cares about is what he talks about. And that's what people like about Trump. And it's hard, I think, for the average person to look at this and say, wait a minute, it's just why is this happening? Is this true? Is it fair, the way the media is treating him? We'll get into that in 60 seconds.
All right, let me tell you about Goldline. Whatever changed last week, we clearly still have a very big problem. The Fed is still bailing out the banks to the tune of $160 billion a day. Why? There's something wrong, and it's going to affect the entire world. Buckle up, 2020 is going to be an ugly, ugly year. That's why I would like you to consider gold and Goldline. You set aside $100 a month, and you can invest in gold or silver bullion. You can get also the free half-ounce silver coin added for your first delivery by calling and asking about the accumulation special. So if you've said, I can't afford it, well, you can, and it'll accumulate, and then you'll have gold, and they'll ship it to you. Just find out if it's right for you. Do your own homework. 866-GOLDLINE, 1-866-GOLDLINE, or goldline.com.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala.
We all know that politicians and people of power are a little bit different, right? They have different interests than many of us. I mean, Donald Trump is no exception. He's got way too much gold for my tastes and way too much burgundy. He likes, I don't know, he's really in love with those colors. He's opulent. And I mean, you might be understated. But there are some fundamental things that are true. Everybody wants to help themselves and their family. Everyone has individual interests. One of the brilliant things that is the foundation of this country is that our founders recognized people have self-interest as a priority. They've realized we're fallible people. We're people that won't be able to be perfect and won't be able to be, we don't have this weird neutrality on life. We do have personal interests, and that's okay. And that's why it's important to empower a market, because people all act in their individual interests, and what happens at the end of that? Everyone has to supply the things that are needed. That's why the free market works really well. But everyone wants to help themselves and their family, and everyone has to do their job, including the president, including politicians. When those two things align, it's paradise. It's paradise in Washington, because there's a lot of times you can do things that do align with a national interest, do align with your job, and also kind of help yourself out personally. And if you look at what happened with Joe Biden, that seems like, man, really coincidental that he just happened to be going after this prosecutor, that happened to be going after this company, that happened to be paying his son more than $50,000 a month. That is kind of an important thing. On the other hand, the media will tell you, well, hey, Donald Trump, he is going after his political opponents. Does it help Donald Trump if Joe Biden gets exposed for what he did in Ukraine? The answer to that is yes. There's no need to deny it. It's true. Is this a political interest for Donald Trump? The answer to that is yes. However, the idea that a former vice president was involved in corruption with your tax dollars is also in the national interest. It is an alignment between the national interest, Trump's job, and holding back money to get things done in other countries is very standard for the president of the United States, as we almost played the audio for you from Joe Biden. And that aligned with his political interest. Fundamentally, what's happening with the media is with Joe Biden, they're assuming only the best things. He's a patriotic guy going to fight against corruption. With Trump, they're assuming only the bad side of that equation, that he's only interested in his own political gain. And if you look at that through the prism of the media, you can understand all the coverage, right? If you see this as only a story of Donald Trump going after his political enemies to try to scam America into voting for him, well, of course you think he should be impeached. But is that fair? Is that the way they handled it with Joe Biden? Did they only think about the possibility that his son was helped? No, they called him patriotic, and Anderson Cooper was asking him a question in the Democratic debate yesterday, saying it was debunked, when that's not true at all. This is the mainstream media bias in action, and it is a problem.
You're listening to Glenn Beck.
Talking about ED isn't easy. Usually we just brush it off or blame ourselves, saying things like, I lost my mojo. Or we avoid it altogether with excuses like, I had a long day at work. Or, sorry, honey, I'm just not feeling it. But with Roman, it is easy to talk about. With a real doctor who can prescribe real medication. It's simple, safe, and totally discreet. With Roman, you can get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for ED, all from the comfort and privacy of your home. The doctor will work with you to find the best treatment plan, and if medication is appropriate, Roman will ship it to you with free 2-day shipping. The whole process is straightforward and discreet. Getting started is simple. Just go to GetRoman.com/America and complete an online visit. ED used to be tough to tackle, but now there's Roman. Complete an online visit today to connect with a doctor and take care of it. That's GetRoman.com/America to get a free online visit and free 2-day shipping. GetRoman.com/America.
Listen up. The 12th annual Fall Palatka Bluegrass Festival is November 7th, 8th, and 9th at the Roadheaver Boys Ranch, 380 Boys Ranch Road in Palatka. Showtimes are noon to 10 p.m. each day, featuring Rhonda Vincent, the Gibson Brothers, the Cleverleys, and many more. Adult tickets start at $40 with children under 7 free with a parent. For more information, visit adamsbluegrass.com or call 706-864-7203. It's a fun event for the whole family. Good food and good music. Come and join us.
Justice League Estate Sales. With great customer service in a time of need, liquidating a home and vehicle is hard enough. Let the Justice League Estate Sales family-owned team help. They have highly trained appraisers available to work with you. The Justice League Estate Sales name was inspired by a boy named Justice and the Autism Awareness Organization. Please visit www.justiceleagueestatesales.com for upcoming sales. And tune in every Tuesday at 11:20 a.m. on WOCA and learn how the team can help you. Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. There's new fighting in northern Syria the day after a 5-day ceasefire with Turkey was announced by Vice President Pence. Dave Eubank is there with Kurds and tells Fox.
And you know what the people say? They say, where's America? Why did you do this? Why did you leave? Why did you leave us?
He's a former Special Forces soldier who runs the aid organization Free Burma Rangers. President Trump says he withdrew American troops for their safety. His acting chief of staff, Mick Mulvaney, had Justice Department officials who spoke to Fox angry and confused for telling reporters yesterday that military aid to Ukraine was tied to an investigation into 2016 election meddling.
Those comments were later walked back by Mulvaney in a statement. Mulvaney's assertion that Ukraine's cooperating in an ongoing investigation with the Department of Justice angered DOJ officials as well as the president's lawyers.
Fox's John Decker at the White House. Mulvaney says now there was no quid pro quo. America's listening to Fox News.
You wouldn't use an 18-wheeler to teach your son how to drive. It's too big. And you wouldn't take a family road trip in his toy car. It's too small. But using the Mercedes-Benz Metris cargo van to run your business? Just right. Only the Metris can haul, stow, and tow more than any other van in its class. It has the maneuverability to get through the toughest jobs and fits in your garage, too. And now with 0% financing, it's built around your budget. Because if you can't picture your son behind the wheel of a monster truck or squeezing your family inside a 2-seat convertible, we don't blame you. The only thing you need to picture is where the Metris can take your business. The Mercedes-Benz Metris. With 0% financing and starting at $26,570, it's just right. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
MSRP excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep fee. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details about costs and terms. Only valid on 2018 or 2019 Mercedes-Benz Metris vans. Qualified qualified commercial customers only. Offer valid through January 2nd, 2020.
Here is your one-minute news brief. The Florida Highway Patrol is reporting that a hit-and-run accident left a 14-year-old girl from Micanopy dead and another 14-year-old girl in critical condition. Police are looking for an older model Ford pickup truck or Bronco missing its driver's side mirror. Tropical storm warnings have been issued for Florida's Gulf Coast from Yankeetown to the Panhandle as the National Hurricane Center tracks potential tropical storm Nestor. A former 28-year-old New Smyrna Beach high school teacher was arrested yesterday after authorities accused her of sexual misconduct with a 16-year-old male student. The Coast Guard is searching for a small plane in the Gulf of Mexico after a trauma surgeon flew the aircraft hundreds of miles beyond its intended destination. Key West's sensual annual Fantasy Fest celebration begins today, kicking off 10 days of festivities, and Disney World has added Cheetah Rivera and Warwick Davis to its list of celebrity narrators for this year's Candlelight Processional at Epcot. And that is your news brief from The Source.
Some sun giving way to increasing clouds on this Friday with a high between 76 in the northern part of the zone to 83 in the south. And Friday night will be cloudy and humid with periods of rain, those ranging from 67 in the northernmost part of the zone to 76 in the south. Saturday will be cloudy, breezy, and humid with showers and even a thunderstorm, the high 82 to 86. And for Sunday, partly sunny, warm and humid. There can be a shower or thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon, high 85 to 89. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Luby Bat Conservancy welcomes you to their 15th annual Florida Bat Festival on Saturday, October 26th. This year, Luby is celebrating its 30th anniversary. Come celebrate with them as they continue to spread bat awareness from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. Your batty fun includes games, live music, food, and of course, the largest bats in the world right here in our backyard. The date, again, is October 26th and is great fun for the entire family. www.luby.org. Rep Today, a one-day reptile event in Gainesville, October 26th, is at the Wyndham Garden at 2900 Southwest 13th Street. Call 863-268-4273 or go to www.repticon.com for more information and to purchase tickets. It may not be Jurassic Park, but you'll encounter live animals and see thousands of reptiles and other exotic animals. Again, that's October 26th at Wyndham Garden in Gainesville because kids of all ages love reptiles. Rep Today.
Hi, I'm Brian, and I'm a comfort keeper. I spend a few hours each week caring for seniors in their homes to lend a hand or just be there when they need me.
Being a comfort keeper is a rewarding and fulfilling career. Comfort keepers provide non-medical in-home care and companionship for seniors on a full or part-time basis.
Call 855-592-0013 to learn how to apply to the Comfort Keepers team.
Do something good for your career and for others. Be a comfort keeper. Comfort Keepers offices are independently owned and operated.
It's Stu in for Glenn. Coming up, we have a bunch on what's going on in Syria, and we have a massive impact to our economy right around the corner, and a bunch more important, stories that Glenn prioritized less than a Lady Gaga concert. Those are all coming up here on the program today. First, I want to talk to you a little bit about impeachment here, because as you know, the Democrats have such pure intent. This is not political for them. This is constitutional. The Constitution lives in every Democrat's soul, in the depths of their soul. Every day they wake up and they have their comforters on their comforters in their beds that are just like yours and don't cost a dime more. It's printed, the Constitution. As they wake up, they're forced to read it because it's so ingrained in every cell of their bodies. That is who Democrats are, especially Nancy Pelosi. She takes special care for all of the Botox to not hit the areas where the Constitution is in her cells because she doesn't want to kill off those cells. It's important. It's important to her. Here she is talking about the impeachment process and how she doesn't want to do this. This is not her. She just feels the dramatic responsibility to do it. Listen.
I'm very proud of the work of Chairman Adam Schiff. Again, this is so solemn. None of us came to Congress to impeach a president. That's not what we come here to do.
Oh, no.
And any such actions are to be taken very solemnly, seriously,
Very
in my view, prayerfully.
Oh, yes. Oh, see, it's not even. I undersold it. It's not just in each and every cell. It is in her soul. She's prayerfully impeaching this president. Why do you keep criticizing her? Do you not like religion? What is the problem with you Republicans? Nancy Pelosi does not want to impeach this president, but she feels she must. And I have news for you. No one comes into Congress with the idea that they want to impeach a president. That is not why they do it. Here's Rashida Tlaib from her victory speech on election night.
People love you, and you win. And when your son looks at you and says, Mama, look, you won, bullies don't win. And I say, baby, they don't. Because we're going to go in there, we're going to impeach the
Wow, it's a little inconvenient. And that's just one of many who supported impeachment before they got into office. They do go to impeach the president. And many of them are doing it specifically for those reasons. And Ukraine is just the latest, greatest, easiest option. The Mueller report didn't work out so well, so we move on to another former Soviet territory. Jason Buttrill is with us. He is Glenn's head researcher, also a host of the Pat Gray Unleashed program this morning. You get that podcast and check it out. Jason, before we get into Syria, because I want to make sure we cover that today, there's some pretty big stuff going on there. These news cycles at this point are insane. Let's start with Ukraine. Washington Post has a story. If you missed it, just came out. George Kent, he's a deputy assistant secretary of state under Obama, said that they did go to Biden during the Obama administration and warn him about the conflict of interest and corruption that was going on potentially with Hunter Biden and Burisma in Ukraine. This is the first time we're hearing from an Obama official admitting what we all knew, but also kind of their awareness of it and the fact that they went to Biden and as he testified, Biden did nothing about it. How big of a deal is this?
What's amazing to me is that there's got to be more people that are going to come forward about this. I mean, it's so blatantly obvious that there was a conflict of interest going on. As many people have pointed out, you can't even have the appearance of corruption.
Yeah, and that's in the ethics code for every government employee.
Right. So you're telling me that there's nobody in the administration that was like, wait a minute, like he probably shouldn't be working for this company while the vice president, his father, is the lead point man in Ukraine. That just smells bad, if anything. But I don't know. Like I read that report, and they said that the reason why they didn't bring it up to Biden at the time, that hey, this looks kind of awful, is because he was dealing with his son Beau at the time.
Yeah, and look, that is undoubtedly tragic and horrible. But I don't know that I have a family issue is an excuse available to the vice president of the United States, right? Like, it sucks, and everybody's human. And yes, it would be very difficult, but he was able to deal with Ukrainian policy through this period. Yeah. He was able to deal with everything else that we know about in his job. This is the one thing he couldn't deal with was his own son potentially involved in corruption. And you'd think, if anything, you'd have a hyper interest in protecting your children in that moment. This is not only bad for Joe Biden, it's bad for Hunter Biden.
I like the quotes in that article where this official in this testimony was saying that, we kind of thought that maybe it wasn't a good look if we're trying to, teach those Ukrainians that to avoid conflicts of interest and corruption when this is happening. I love that fact. I also love the fact that they keep saying, like, look, the vice president did nothing wrong here. Hunter Biden did nothing wrong here.
Right.
Pretty true. Really?
Well, nothing illegal.
Nothing illegal, right? That's not really. I think Giuliani and Trump might be searching for something else along those lines. But we've been pretty, I think, consistent with that from the beginning. Is like we're not saying they committed a crime.
No,
But we're just trying to shine a light on how ridiculous this is. This is something that, and I guarantee you there's people on both the left and the right that are furious that this has come out in this way. They've got to be furious at Joe Biden for being so public with how they went about all this. Because they've been everywhere. Politicians have been lining their pockets for years, for decades.
Yeah. And the families of politicians.
And that's how they do
That's
it.
the family business.
Exactly.
For a lot of these people.
Yep. They can't line their pockets with like he couldn't send his wife off, to Ukraine, because that would immediately get reported and that would be a violation.
Yep.
But those rules don't hold water for the sons or the daughters or the friends or the family.
So convenient.
You've got the Peter Schweizer, Secret Empires.
Yes.
I believe. You have got to read that. It is insane. There is, and the Biden stuff is really a small portion of the book.
Yeah.
And I can't believe that's the only thing that's getting light right now. But the Obama stuff involving his friends and like his crusade, it'll also show you about the climate agenda, which I know you could go all year on.
Yeah.
But it shows about how at times when Obama was talking about carbon taxes, and everyone was talking about how, we need to shut down them coal plants and all that stuff. Biden's friends are investing in these companies that he's saying we need to shut down. The offshore drilling. He was like talking, all this trash about them. While he's doing that, his friends are investing into those companies. Then when he backed off, all the money that they dumped into for shares, now all of a sudden they're millionaires. Politics is incredibly dirty.
This is how it works.
It's how it works.
Let me ask you one more question on this front before we move to Syria. Over and over again, it's reported that Hunter Biden was receiving $50,000 a month from Burisma. However, that number is low. Do we know what the real number is? Because there was multiple payments of over $100,000 to Hunter Biden through this time period. Do you know what the actual number is?
I don't remember the full number. It seems like we looked at it and it was around two. I don't want to say for sure, but it seems like it was around 200,000.
Around 200,000. Okay, that's what I remember too. And it's important because people keep throwing this $50,000 a month out, and that's not nothing. Yeah, that's a lot of money, especially when your job is to work 2 days a month or 2 days a year. Isn't it 2 days a year? He was only a board member. It wasn't like he had daily responsibilities.
Yeah.
It's so obvious he was getting paid for the influence and the appearance of influence.
Right. And I don't know. I don't even know if we know the specific number or not, because this is another thing that Peter Schweizer, found is that, according to bank records, official bank records, he was getting money directly into his bank account from anonymous LLCs in places like Ukraine, China. There's some very off the wall places like I think Kazakhstan, some other stuff. Are you telling me that this guy who had zero experience, zero ability to do this job, and he's getting these anonymous payments from all over the world during that time frame when his dad is engaging on foreign policy all over the world? I'm sorry, that is ridiculously dirty. I don't know if we'll ever find out how much money the Biden family actually funneled into their bank accounts during that time. Ridiculous.
Amazing. All right, let's look at Syria here. So let me give you this analogy that I heard, and it was interesting to me, so I'm going to completely steal it. I don't remember who I'm stealing it from. So the idea of explaining this whole Syria thing was, the analogy I heard was, it's basically like Canada is invading North Dakota. Okay? Canada is invading North Dakota. The people in North Dakota are hanging out there. They're fighting back now. We were in North Dakota before. We were protecting North Dakota. We pull out. Canada invades North Dakota because they just gotta have North Dakota. Okay? So they start fighting. Then we get a ceasefire, which says, okay, the North Dakotans can move out and go to South Dakota. Okay? We're going to give you 5 days to get to South Dakota. And then Canada's going to move in and have North Dakota. And at the end of this, Canada kind of gets what they want here. Or in the actual analogy, Turkey kind of gets what they want. They want a 20-mile buffer into Syria because they've had all sorts of problems legitimately with terrorist attacks and things like that. They want to protect their people. They believe they have the right to this land. They want to protect themselves. So we have this ceasefire right now. Hostilities are stopping for 5 days. And the Kurds are going to pull out of these areas, at least the innocent Kurds, right? Or the people who aren't fighting, at least. And then the warriors are most likely going to stay and fight, and we're going to be right back to bloodshed in a few minutes. Accurate? How does that look to you?
I see what they're saying. Somewhat similar in the fact that I'm assuming they're saying that Canada has everything to gain in this.
Yeah. Because at the end of this ceasefire, what happens, right? If the fighting starts up again, And then we can plausibly say, look, they're fighting. We gave them a chance to get out of there, and they're just still fighting. There's nothing we can do for them anymore. We've given them that chance, and now we're done.
Yeah. So Turkey, there's a few things that Turkey wants to get out of this, and this is so ridiculously complicated. I'm going to try and do what you've seen on network TV, which is not break it down. I'm going to try and do what they don't do, which they never do this in a way that you can understand it at all.
All right, let's see.
Like you have a PhD or something like that.
I'm going to act really dumb. Which is easy for me. And then you explain it to me.
Have you ever seen... Okay, I'll do my own analogy. Maybe we'll do it. So have you ever seen the movie Far and Away? With Tom Cruise.
What the hell? You have the weirdest references to
never
movies.
Seen that?
Yes, I saw it, and I've forgotten every part about it because it was like the least memorable Tom Cruise movie in history.
Well, this was... how dare you, sir?
Oh.
It was an awesome movie. I love that. So remember what the whole premise, though, was they were trying to get to Oklahoma because I'm not going to screw North Dakota. We're doing Oklahoma on this one. Mm-hmm. So the whole point in that one was there was a huge land grab, remember? And everyone was rushing out there to try and scoop up the land.
Okay.
So...
I don't remember that at all in this movie.
At the end?
I think I would have told you the movie took place in Ireland.
It begins there.
Okay, it does. Okay, all right, good. All right, good. Okay, the Oklahoma land grab.
Oklahoma land grab. So basically what's going on right now with multiple different power vacuums, specifically in northern Syria, is the Oklahoma Sooner land grab. And Turkey are the ones right now. Turkey is Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. They rushed out there and they're planting their flag down in there and they're saying, look, this is the territory we want. This is basically what they're doing, but they're not telling everyone that. If you think that those Turkish forces are going to leave, that's a fantasy. I don't. They're never going to put a timetable on when they're going to pull out. I think they're just there because they're there.
Yeah, they want that territory. They want a buffer between them and the Kurds. They want this land. They believe it's theirs.
Right. And the thing is that the Kurds do not pose an imminent threat to them. So they didn't have to go in and do this. They're seeing an opportunity right now, and they took it. Now, I'm not sure what agreements the Trump administration made with Erdogan to be able to, for however Trump was convinced to pull out. But it happened. But they're not leaving there anytime soon. And Erdogan right now is almost the rebirth of the Ottoman Empire. I believe he's channeling Ottoman nationalism. I think that's not the only land that they'll be looking to do. Iraq, look out because you're probably next. But
unless we stop them, and then I guess that's the argument for people who are saying let's stay is we want to stop this advance. And, the other side is saying, well, we got to get out of here at some point, so let's just do it now.
Trump has been saying that this is a brilliant move. His rhetoric aside, it actually is a very, very smart way. Hear me out here. I don't have enough time to explain this.
Not too much. Go ahead.
But it's a very, very smart way to reorient the region how it's naturally been. So what I say is Russia is an enemy of Turkey. But this whole thing got them working together. Syria is an enemy of Turkey, but they've been working together. Iran is an enemy of Turkey, but now if you look at it, the Russians and the Syrians are pointing their guns at Turkey instead of them both pointing their guns at us.
It's more of the traditional alignment of these countries.
Exactly. Which years and years and years of us being there has really upset the balance. The traditional people that are suspicious of one another are now orienting back to the way it should be.
All right. Jason Butcher will have more of that. And we're going to talk a little bit about that podcast here in a second as well. It's Stu in for Glenn on the Glenn Beck program.
You're listening to Glenn Beck.
You tired of having pillow fights with your spouse? And I don't mean that kind of pillow fight like we used to with our kids. I mean the fight on who gets the nicer pillow. Usually, the nicer pillow is the one that still has any fluff to it at all. It hasn't turned into a sheet of paper. If you're at my house, that's the My Pillow. It is the one that never loses its fluff. Right now, you can get discounts on all MyPillow products if you go to MyPillow.com right now and click on the new radio listener specials. You're going to see some amazing offers, including their BOGO offer, buy one pillow, get another one free with the promo code BECK. All MyPillow products come with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. Even better, if you pre-order a copy of Mike Lindell's new book, your entire order is going to ship for free. Just go to MyPillow.com and click on the new radio listener specials and get deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including buy one pillow, get the next one free. Enter the promo code BECK or call 800-966-3117 for the great radio specials.
Luby Bat Conservancy welcomes you to their 15th annual Florida Bat Festival on Saturday, October 26th. This year, Luby is celebrating its 30th anniversary. Come celebrate with them as they continue to spread bat awareness from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. Your batty fun includes games, live music, food, and of course, the largest bats in the world right here in our backyard. The date, again, is October 26th and is great fun for the entire family. www.luby.org. Rep Today, a one-day reptile event in Gainesville, October 26th, is at the Wyndham Garden at 2900 Southwest 13th Street. Call 863-268-4273 or go to www.repticon.com for more information and to purchase tickets. It may not be Jurassic Park, but you'll encounter live animals and see thousands of reptiles and other exotic animals. Again, that's October 26th at Wyndham Garden in Gainesville because kids of all ages love reptiles. Rep Today.
Hi, I'm Brian, and I'm a comfort keeper. I spend a few hours each week caring for seniors in their homes to lend a hand or just be there when they need me.
Being a comfort keeper is a rewarding and fulfilling career. Comfort keepers provide non-medical in-home care and companionship for seniors on a full or part-time basis.
Call 855-592-0013 to learn how to apply to the Comfort Keepers team.
Do something good for your career and for others. Be a comfort keeper. Comfort Keepers offices are independently owned and operated.
Justice League Estate Sales. With great customer service in a time of need, liquidating a home and vehicle is hard enough. Let the Justice League Estate Sales family-owned team help. They have highly trained appraisers available to work with you. The Justice League Estate Sales name was inspired by a boy named Justice and the Autism Awareness Organization. Please visit www.justiceleagueestatesales.com for upcoming sales. And tune in every Tuesday at 11:20 a.m. on WOCA and learn how the team can help you.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. In addition to our pasture mowing and tractor services, including our zero-turn mowers for your fence line finish. Also available, stump grinding, rototilling, and fence row spraying. We are family-owned and operated, licensed and insured, and farm-ready. Howell Gene, Gene, @yahoo.com, 352-629-2440. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY only $4.99. Plus DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75. If you're looking for some real October deals for your yard or garden, take it from me. The place to be is Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala. All you got to do is check the ads, and your money savings starts with super deals like these. A fabulous truckload azalea sale. All dwarf, ever-blooming, semi-dwarf, and tall varieties of azaleas are 50% off this week. Also, a truckload sale on citrus trees. These are big, lush citrus trees. Many are bearing fruit right now. Regularly priced at $89.99. They're just $59.99 this week. Those popular dwarf citrus trees, they're just $99.99. Camellias, Bob's famous heirloom camellias start at a super low $19.99 for these sun and shade loving beauties. You want more? Check the ad, BobWinesCameliaGardens.net, then head on out to Bob Wines Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street, Ocala, daily till 4, Saturdays till 3, in the same blooming place since 1952.
Welcome to the Glenn Beck program. It's Stu in for Glenn. I'm at World of Stu on Twitter. Jason, what's your Twitter thingy?
At Jason Buttrell.
There you go. You should follow both of us because it's just the right thing to do for America, for your future. Another right thing to do is Glenn has a podcast coming out this weekend, and it's a big one. It's an exclusive. It is with someone who was there at a lot of these meetings with Ukraine, who saw the corruption firsthand. I've never seen him interviewed in this sort of depth. I've never seen him really interviewed much at all. Tell us a little bit about what the podcast is going to be coming out tomorrow on wherever you get your podcast.
So the podcast is with Glenn and Andrei Teleshenko. He was a political officer that worked here in the U.S. Embassy. He was also a high-level political officer, also in Ukraine, worked for the Prosecutor General and a few other people. He was there at a lot of these things. A lot of the things you're going to hear about in the impeachment inquiry, a lot of the things you've heard about debunked, air quoted, in certain publications like the Post and the New York Times. He was actually there, and it's absolutely baffling. No one was wanting to talk to him.
And he holds nothing back in this interview.
Nothing.
The podcast, wherever podcasts are sold, you can listen to this one. It's coming out tomorrow.
You're listening to Glenn Beck.
You tired of having pillow fights with your spouse? And I don't mean that kind of pillow fight like we used to with our kids. I mean the fight on who gets the nicer pillow. Usually, the nicer pillow is the one that still has any fluff to it at all. It hasn't turned into a sheet of paper. If you're at my house, that's the My Pillow. It is the one that never loses its fluff. Right now, you can get discounts on all MyPillow products if you go to MyPillow.com right now and click on the new radio listener specials. You're going to see some amazing offers, including their BOGO offer, buy one pillow, get another one free with the promo code BECK. All MyPillow products come with a 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. Even better, if you pre-order a copy of Mike Lindell's new book, your entire order is going to ship for free. Just go to MyPillow.com and click on the new radio listener specials and get deep discounts on all MyPillow products, including buy one pillow, get the next one free. Enter the promo code BECK or call 800-966-3117 for the great radio specials.
Thanksgiving is coming up, and now is the perfect time to prepare your home for holiday guests with brand new blinds, shades, or plantation shutters from Blinds.com. It's easy with Blinds.com, and delivery is guaranteed by Thanksgiving, or your order is free. Go to Blinds.com now through October 24th for their Buy More, Save More sale and save up to 35%. Plus, get an extra $20 off with promo code LIGHT. Rules and restrictions may apply.
I'm pretty handy around the house, but now that I have kids, I don't want to spend my Saturday installing a toilet or fixing an air conditioner. But thankfully, there's Home Advisor. Home Advisor helps me find the best home pros in my area to handle any kind of project. You can read reviews of the pros, check their availability, and even book appointments online. And what my wife loves most is that Home Advisor is completely free to use.
Go to HomeAdvisor.com or download the free app to get started.
Home Advisor!
Hi, Matt Wilkerson here, your Verizon representative with news that will hum your car, make it smart and safe. How? With the new Hum device by Verizon. You can rest assured you're never alone. Flat tire? Lost? Accident? For $10 a month, Hum by Verizon has you covered. And I will come to you in Marion County to install the Hum for free. Time to call me at 352-528-0020. Are you ready to hum along? Call 352-528-0020.
AccuSleep offers a safe and effective medical option for those who suffer from sleep disorders of all kinds. AccuSleep makes restoring healthy sleep patterns possible. No medication, no surgery, just good sound sleep. Mend your sleep so you can stop counting sheep. Experience restorative sleep at AccuSleep, the acupuncture sleep clinic in Ocala by calling 352-615-5566.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. President Trump on Twitter says he just spoke to Turkey's President Erdogan and that fighting with Kurds in northern Syria we've been reporting today was just minor sniper and mortar fire. A 5-day ceasefire or pause in the fighting with Kurds was announced yesterday.
Erdogan is a difficult partner at times.
Texas Congressman Mike McCall on Fox News Channel. He's the top Republican on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. A confessed killer is charged with a second murder in Alaska.
48-year-old Brian Smith admits to police in Anchorage that he is the man seen assaulting and strangling a woman on a digital memory card that was apparently found in a street. 30-year-old Kathleen Henry's body was found October 2nd along the Seward Highway, and police now say Smith has also admitted to the murder of another woman, 53-year-old Veronica Abouchuk, whose remains were found along another Alaska highway this spring.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. America's listening to Fox News.
You wouldn't use an 18-wheeler to teach your son how to drive. It's too big. And you wouldn't take a family road trip in his toy car. It's too small. But using the Mercedes-Benz Metris cargo van to run your business? Just right. Only the Metris can haul, stow, and tow more than any other van in its class. It has the maneuverability to get through the toughest jobs and fits in your garage, too. And now with 0% financing, it's built around your budget. Because if you can't picture your son behind the wheel of a monster truck or squeezing your family inside a 2-seat convertible, we don't blame you. The only thing you need to picture is where the Metris can take your business. The Mercedes-Benz Metris. With 0% financing and starting at $26,570, it's just right. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
MSRP excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep fee. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details about costs and terms. Only valid on 2018 or 2019 Mercedes-Benz Metris vans. Qualified commercial customers only. Offer valid through January 2nd, 2020.
Here is your one-minute news brief. The Florida Highway Patrol is reporting that a hit-and-run accident left a 14-year-old girl from Micanopy dead and another 14-year-old girl in critical condition. Police are looking for an older model Ford pickup truck or Bronco missing its driver's side mirror. Tropical storm warnings have been issued for Florida's Gulf Coast from Yankeetown to the Panhandle as the National Hurricane Center tracks potential tropical storm Nestor. A former 28-year-old New Smyrna Beach high school teacher was arrested yesterday after authorities accused her of sexual misconduct with a 16-year-old male student. The Coast Guard is searching for a small plane in the Gulf of Mexico after a trauma surgeon flew the aircraft hundreds of miles beyond its intended destination. Key West's sensual annual Fantasy Fest celebration begins today, kicking off 10 days of festivities, and Disney World has added Cheetah Rivera and Warwick Davis to its list of celebrity narrators for this year's Candlelight Processional at Epcot. And that is your news brief from The Source.
Some sun giving way to increasing clouds on this Friday with a high between 76 in the northern part of the zone to 83 in the south. And Friday night will be cloudy and humid with periods of rain, lows ranging from 67 in the northernmost part of the zone to 76 in the south. Saturday will be cloudy, breezy, and humid with showers and even a thunderstorm, the high 82 to 86. And for Sunday, partly sunny, warm and humid. There can be a shower or thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon, high 85 to 89. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Luby Bat Conservancy welcomes you to their 15th annual Florida Bat Festival on Saturday, October 26th. This year, Luby is celebrating its 30th anniversary. Come celebrate with them as they continue to spread bat awareness from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. Your batty fun includes games, live music, food, and of course, the largest bats in the world right here in our backyard. The date, again, is October 26th and is great fun for the entire family. www.luby.org. Rep Today, a one-day reptile event in Gainesville, October 26th, is at the Wyndham Garden at 2900 Southwest 13th Street. Call 863-268-4273 or go to www.repticon.com for more information and to purchase tickets. It may not be Jurassic Park, but you'll encounter live animals and see thousands of reptiles and other exotic animals. Again, that's October 26th at Wyndham Garden in Gainesville because kids of all ages love reptiles. Rep Today.
Hi, I'm Brian, and I'm a comfort keeper. I spend a few hours each week caring for seniors in their homes to lend a hand or just be there when they need me.
Being a comfort keeper is a rewarding and fulfilling career. Comfort keepers provide non-medical in-home care and companionship for seniors on a full or part-time basis.
Call 855-592-0013 to learn how to apply to the Comfort Keepers team.
Do something good for your career and for others. Be a comfort keeper. Comfort Keepers offices are independently owned and operated.
Justice League Estate Sales. With great customer service in a time of need, liquidating a home and vehicle is hard enough. Let the Justice League Estate Sales family-owned team help. They have highly trained appraisers available to work with you. The Justice League Estate Sales name was inspired by a boy named Justice and the Autism Awareness Organization. Please visit www.justiceleagueestatesales.com for upcoming sales. And tune in every Tuesday at 11:20 a.m. on WOCA and learn how the team can help you.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. In addition to our pasture mowing and tractor services, including our zero-turn mowers for your fence line finish. Also available, stump grinding, rototilling, and fence row spraying. We are family-owned and operated, licensed and insured, and farm-ready. Powell Gene, Gene, @yahoo.com, 352-629-2440. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff.
The fusion of entertainment and enlightenment. This is the Glenn Beck Program.
So George Kent, a Deputy Assistant Secretary of State, testified this week that he was worried that Hunter Biden's position at the firm Burisma would complicate efforts by U.S. diplomats to convey to Ukrainian officials the importance of avoiding conflicts of interest. I wonder why that was a problem. Sure, the vice president is head of Ukraine policy, and this is a giant Ukrainian gas company. What could possibly be the conflict of interest hiring his son, who had no experience in natural gas or Ukraine? I can't think of anything that could possibly go wrong there. This is something the Biden campaign is, of course, struggling with. The vice president said he didn't have the bandwidth to deal with the issue when it was brought up to him. Mild problem. And it's also in conflict with what Joe Biden is actually saying. This is Joe Biden from the debate talking about his dealings with Hunter Biden and Burisma.
No, I don't. And because I never discussed with my son anything having to do with what was going on in Ukraine. That's a fact.
Never discussed it with him. Now, this is at odds, of course, with the words of Hunter Biden, who said they did discuss it in passing once. Did not say that they talked about it a lot. Did not say they went into a lot of detail. But basically what Joe Biden said was, hey, Hunter, I hope you know what you're doing on this thing. And Hunter was like, oh, I do. Now, that is a separate issue, right? It's not just the situation where Joe Biden does actually talk to Hunter Biden about Burisma when he said multiple times, not only there, but also in the debate, that he never said anything to Hunter about this, which is such an impossible strain on any level of credibility. They were on a plane together to Ukraine. What the hell else do you talk about on that plane trip? There's nothing else to talk about when you go to Ukraine. Chernobyl? Maybe? I mean, maybe. I can't think of no one. Bizarrely, every single Democrat seems to find a reason to send their children to Ukraine, which is a place where every Ukrainian parent tries to get them out of. Half the country is littered with nuclear waste. The other half looks like a sequel to Hostel. This is not a good place to enjoy a vacation. Yet every single Democratic politician was like, hey, kids, there's a summer camp in Ukraine I'm thinking it would be a good place for you to go live. The best thing about it, $50,000 a month or more. So for some reason, this is vacation paradise for every Democrat. It doesn't make any sense. There's no way, there's no way it's true. Can we get to that point? There's no way they didn't discuss this. He's the front man for policy on Ukraine. His son has a job at a giant company in Ukraine. Hunter says they talked about it once. That can't possibly be true. They talked about it 1,000 times. They talked about the political ramifications of it. They talked about what was actually happening. They probably talked about, you know what? This guy who's going after Burisma, not one, investigation, but multiple investigations. That guy, well, he happens to be a guy that we don't really trust that much anyway, so maybe I'll put lots and lots of pressure and make sure he's not going to be in power anymore. You're telling me that didn't come up? I just don't believe it. So far, there's no evidence of that conversation. But I'm just saying, as a human being, I don't believe that dad and son went on a 9,000-hour plane trip to Ukraine and what they were doing there never came up. It's just impossible, is it not? Are we not human beings and know how human beings interact? We know that happened, but we don't have concrete evidence. We don't have the transcript of that conversation. But it seems very, very plausible that that occurred. And let's go on beyond that. Not only is he saying he didn't ask Hunter about it, and Hunter is saying we talked about it once, and Joe Biden's question was, hey, I hope you got this. I hope you know what you're doing. He is talking to a man who has had basically a series of personal problems that would make Sean Penn embarrassed. This is a guy, Hunter Biden, who I'm sure tries really hard to avoid these things, but there are real people with real problems that have real difficulty dealing with life, and Hunter Biden is one of these people. He's had all sorts of drug problems. He's had drug-infused car accidents in rental cars. He left a rental car at Hertz with white powder on the dashboard. This is not a minor mistake. This is happening while he's at Burisma. And somehow, Burisma was like, you know who needs to come here? Do you know who needs to come here for $50,000 a month or more and be a board member of our company in a country he's never been to with a product he's never dealt with? That guy, the white powder on the dashboard guy, that's the guy. This is blatantly insane. And it shows Joe Biden's judgment that if this story is true, it might actually be worse. If Joe Biden's idea of judgment is to go to his son, who has been, I have a list of 28 individual personal failings that have gone on in Hunter Biden's life that we know of, including when he was buying crack under a bridge, including when he took a cigarette laced with another drug from a random, I believe he called him North African person, in a parking lot. That person is the person Joe went to and said, I hope you know what you're doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. Is it not clear that this person does not know what they're doing? This person has tried to manage his life unsuccessfully at every single turn. The idea that you just turn over this random responsibility to not only protect your dad's political future, but also to avoid future allegations of corruption, and also just to be able to get up and tie your shoes every day. None of these things Hunter has been able to be trusted with in his life. And I don't say that as making fun of him. It's just he. You know what's hard for me? Running a mile. You know what's hard for Hunter? Waking up and not going into rehab. That's his life. That's how difficult it is. He went into rehab, I believe, 8 times. 8 times. And Dad's question is, I hope you know what you're doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. Maybe we get into this. I'm going to give you a little bit of detail here on Hunter Biden. You need to hear the events that lead up to him getting this job. Think about offering a job to this person. We'll get into that in 60 seconds.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
I needed new blinds. I knew I could save a ton of money if I put them in myself, but I was nervous about measuring right and then installing them. That's why I went to Blinds.com. I'd heard their ads on the radio, how they're the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. But I still had to install them. So I called in my design consultant, Carla. She talked me through it all, from picking the right blinds to installing them. Plus, the online design consultation was free. Samples were free. Shipping was free. My home looks perfect.
Thanksgiving is coming up, and now is the perfect time to prepare your home for holiday guests with brand new blinds, shades, or plantation shutters from Blinds.com. It's easy with Blinds.com, and delivery is guaranteed by Thanksgiving or your order is free. Go to Blinds.com now through October 24th for their Buy More, Save More sale and save up to 35%. Plus, get an extra $20 off with promo code BECK. Rules and restrictions may apply.
All right, welcome back. It's Stuart for Glenn of the Glenn Beck program. I kid you not, he went to a Lady Gaga concert, and that's why he's not here. I'm not making that up. Usually I make things up when Glenn is out, and I lie to you, and I tell you all sorts of crazy reasons he's not here. This time it's true. He's at a Lady Gaga concert. Full stop. Just wanted you to know. Now, speaking of really irrational personal choices, let's go into Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden, this is the guy hired for $50,000 a month. This is the guy trusted in these high-level dealings, billions of dollars on the line in China. This is his history. When he was in college, he started using cocaine. Now, look, we were all in college and used cocaine, I'm sure. This is certainly a long time ago. By the way, I wasn't in college or used cocaine, so I'm perfectly clear from this one. He was in college and he used cocaine. It's one of those things I guess you can excuse, right? Like, in all seriousness, it's not something that I know a lot of people I can think of a couple that I do know who have done that. And it was a long time ago, and it was college, and everybody tries crazy things in college, apparently. Now, he got a laced cigarette, crack. It was laced with crack in college. Now, look, that probably happens to a lot of people, too. You're going to have a regular cigarette. It's laced with a little crack. It happens. I think he actually tried to make crack into a cigarette, was this one, actually. He got crack, didn't know what to do with it, decided to smoke it in a cigarette, and didn't really get high, I believe was his telling. 2001, he's plastered on a train. 2003, he finally realizes, I've had this problem, and I'm not going to drink for 30 days. Okay? And he does not drink for 30 days. Impressive. And then he drinks on day 31. And then he starts over again. He goes 30 days because that's his goal. Gets past his goal. And then on day 31, he does it again. And he says he repeats this over and over and over again. He goes 30 days. I got to get through 30 days. He gets through 30 days. And then on day 31, he blows it. It's like me with a diet. September 2003, he goes into rehab for the first time. Later on, he goes into Alcoholics Anonymous. Then he has a pretty good stretch, about 7 years, where he is reportedly sober. And these are all his tellings here. I'm not unearthing any incidents. In 2010, he has a relapse, has 3 Bloody Marys. Between 2010 and 2011, he drinks heavily for several months. 2011 goes back to rehab, and that's rehab 2. Or 3, and it depends if you count AA, I guess that's also kind of rehab. 2013, he gets the shingles. I don't want to even think about the shingles. It really grosses me out. But the point is, he gets the shingles, he gets painkillers, and that sends him back into a problem. In May 2013, he stops at a bar, and this is where he gets the laced cigarettes from the North African, which, who hasn't had that happen to him? Now, this is all before he started at Burisma. Okay, so, I mean, look, you can't even count that stuff. 2013, he has cocaine in his system, and it's found by the military. Now, that's a problem. I will say this. He says it's because he had that laced cigarette from the North African, so it's the North Africans' fault. We can all blame the North Africans on that test. Then he goes to rehab again, this time in Tijuana, because who wouldn't go to Tijuana to get your rehab? But this is rehab where they're using some illegal substance here in the United States. It's like some controversial, probably not scientific rehab where he takes some weird herb in Tijuana. It's like, Andy Kaufman when he was trying to get his cancer cured. That's basically what we have here. Then he leaves that rehab and goes, where else would you go? To rehab in Arizona, this is now what, number 4 or 5 we're on as far as rehab goes. Around 2015, this is when he's coming home from a devastating funeral. He's going through couples therapy. By the way, he is now at Burisma, earning all this money, $50,000 a month. So they hired him with all the stuff I've given you so far. Now he's there, and this stuff is happening. He goes to couples therapy. They're talking about how terrible it is. If you drink one more time, you got to move out. He leaves couples therapy and goes and drinks a bottle of vodka. Then he has to move out. In 2015, one of his relapses is actually with the guy from Burisma. He's on his boat doing shots. His relapse is with the Burisma guy. They continue to employ him through this. 2016, he becomes a shut-in. He's very depressed with the whole situation with his brother has gone on. His relationships are breaking up. And he becomes almost a shut-in. And he says himself, I only leave for vodka at this point. February 2016, he's back in rehab. What are we at, 6? Is that 6 now? 6 rehab stints? In June 2016, he goes to Monte Carlo because what a great place for you to visit if you happen to be in rehab 6 times. Why not go to Monte Carlo? I believe this visit, too, was another conference related to Burisma. And he does what we all do when it's time to go potty. He had cocaine with a guy in the bathroom who was a stranger. Because what better decision-making capability can you have than to snort something off of a bathroom sink counter from a stranger? Why not put some white powder up your nose from some guy you just met in a bathroom? I mean, just forget the cocaine. I don't want to sniff that close to anything in a bathroom. It's a terrible idea in every way. So in fall 2016, he's on his way to rehab again, which I think would be number 7, something like that. And while he's there, he loses his wallet. Now this, of course, has happened to everybody. Everyone lost their wallet. Well, he left his on the plane. That's tough, right? If you left your wallet on the plane, what are you going to do? Luckily, he also happened to have a credit card in his pocket, which is what everyone does when they have a wallet, which is keep one credit card in your pocket, but leave your wallet somewhere else. This is not something I've ever heard occur, but I've never smoked crack with a North African either. Now, he lost his wallet, but then still finds a way to buy crack, which again, I'm not that familiar with the financial arrangements with your everyday crack dealer. But I would assume that's a little odd. But maybe he was taking cash advances with his credit card? I don't know. With over the next week, he goes back and buys crack, as he says, a few more times. Then he gets in a fight at a bar. This is, by the way, all still getting $50,000 a month here from Burisma throughout this entire period. He goes and he has some guy, I wish I had his name in front of me. It's like Sloppy Joe is his name or something. Or it's something like, I remember thinking it reminded me of like a rapper name, like the Notorious B.I.G. or something. It was like some guy, I think he actually may have been a rapper, a local rapper. And he rescued him because he felt bad for Hunter Biden, some local rapper. And he gets him money to get a rental car. Hunter takes the rental car, is of course on drugs while he's driving it, and crashes it. Hertz says, hey, I guess, we have a deal where we're supposed to pick people up when they have accidents. So they bring a new car out to him, which he promptly, I believe, crashes again, but certainly returns to Hertz with drugs left on the counter, the console. He's got white powder in the Hertz car, along with his government identification still left in the car after he leaves. The reason he got in the second accident is because he believes he hallucinated an owl. I'm not making any of this up. Finally, he gets divorced, and he goes immediately after the divorce because there's press reports that he had problems with strip clubs. He says, I've never been to a strip club in many, many years, but what does he do when he sees the reports? He goes immediately to a strip club by his own admission. This does not include any of the personal life sort of stuff that went on with his relationship, where he was married, then he got divorced, then he started dating the widow of his brother, and then he met a South African woman, and a week later married her like a couple of months ago from right now. That's this history we're talking about. This guy was trusted with these decisions by a man who wants to be president of the United States. More in 60 seconds.
If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's the problem growing businesses have. Because of a hodgepodge of business systems, one for accounting, another for sales, another for inventory. If that's you, you know it's a mess, and it takes up way too much time and too many resources, and that hurts your bottom line. NetSuite by Oracle. It's a cloud-based business management software that gives you visibility and control, and that's what you need to grow. With NetSuite, you save time, money, and unneeded headaches by managing sales, finance, and accounting, orders, HR, all of it from your desktop or your phone. That's why NetSuite is the world's #1 cloud business system. Companies that use NetSuite grow 3 times faster than the S&P 500. Right now, NetSuite is offering you valuable insights with a free guide, 7 key strategies to grow your profits at netsuite.com/Beck. That's netsuite.com/Beck. To download your free guide, 7 key strategies to grow your profits, netsuite.com/Beck.
There was a simple question put to the former vice president last night. You put out a statement Sunday that no one in your family, if you are elected, can be on any boards. If it's not okay with your president, why was it okay when you were vice president? He evaded that answer just as conspicuously, to my mind, as Elizabeth Warren evaded the question about taxes for Medicare for all. If he thinks this question is going to go away, it might be right for the primaries. Maybe the Democrats are not going to harangue him on this. I know someone who will. The President of the United States. Right. You better come up with an answer.
I mean, Democrats have to be struggling with that right now. You have to come up with an answer. And you want to talk about, I brushed over the whole situation where he is dating the widow of his brother who passed away from cancer. And that went on for a while, and they broke up eventually. Now he's remarried to somebody else that he knew for a week. But that whole situation in the story, when this happened, there was everyone was like, well, gosh, what does Joe Biden, what does the family think about this? This has got to be very weird. And they released a very nice statement. We're happy that they're together and they're making each other happy. It's a very difficult situation. I guess what happened, though, is that was kind of the first time they heard about it when it was reported in the media. They actually didn't know what was going on. Imagine getting that call. By the way, son A is dating the widow of son B. That's not a comfortable situation. I will say, looking at this, I do not respect Joe Biden as a presidential candidate. As a dad, he seems very misled on what to do with his kids, but he does seem to really love his family, to an extent that is getting him in trouble. And he's just one of the candidates. There's a heck of a lot more to talk about. He's the moderate, remember that? Wait till you hear what Bernie Sanders has just proposed and the cost of it. You are not going to believe. It doesn't even sound like a real number. We'll get to that in a minute. It's Stu in for Glenn on the Glenn Beck program.
I needed new blinds. I knew I could save a ton of money if I put them in myself, but I was nervous about measuring right and then installing them. That's why I went to Blinds.com. I'd heard their ads on the radio, how they're the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. But I still had to install them. So I called in my design consultant, Carla. She talked me through it all, from picking the right blinds to installing them. Plus, the online design consultation was free. Samples were free. Shipping was free. My home looks perfect.
Thanksgiving is coming up, and now is the perfect time to prepare your home for holiday guests with brand new blinds, shades, or plantation shutters from Blinds.com. It's easy with Blinds.com, and delivery is guaranteed by Thanksgiving, or your order is free. Go to Blinds.com now through October 24th for their Buy More, Save More sale and save up to 35%. Plus, get an extra $20 off with promo code BECK. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Glenn Beck, an oasis of sanity in the postmodern wilderness. Join the conversation. 888-727-BECK.
Justice League Estate Sales. With great customer service in a time of need, liquidating a home and vehicle is hard enough. Let the Justice League Estate Sales family-owned team help. They have highly trained appraisers available to work with you. The Justice League Estate Sales name was inspired by a boy named Justice and the Autism Awareness Organization. Please visit www.justiceleagueestatesales.com for upcoming sales. And tune in every Tuesday at 11:20 a.m. on WOCA and learn how the team can help you.
Hi, Matt Wilkerson here, your Verizon representative with news that will hum your car, make it smart and safe. How? With the new Hum device by Verizon. You can rest assured you're never alone. Flat tire? Lost? Accident? For $10 a month, Hum by Verizon has you covered. And I will come to you in Marion County to install the Hum for free. Time to call me at 352-528-0020. Are you ready to hum along? Call 352-528-0020.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. President Trump on Twitter says he just spoke to Turkey's President Erdogan and that fighting with Kurds in northern Syria we've been reporting today was just minor sniper and mortar fire. A 5-day ceasefire or pause in the fighting with Kurds was announced yesterday.
Erdogan is a difficult partner at times.
Texas Congressman Mike McCall on Fox News Channel. He's the top Republican on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. A confessed killer is charged with a second murder in Alaska.
48-year-old Brian Smith admits to police in Anchorage that he is the man seen assaulting and strangling a woman on a digital memory card that was apparently found in a street. 30-year-old Kathleen Henry's body was found October 2nd along the Seward Highway, and police now say Smith has also admitted to the murder of another woman, 53-year-old Veronica Abouchuk, whose remains were found along another Alaska highway this spring.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. America's listening to Fox News.
You wouldn't use an 18-wheeler to teach your son how to drive. It's too big. And you wouldn't take a family road trip in his toy car. It's too small. But using the Mercedes-Benz Metris cargo van to run your business? Just right. Only the Metris can haul, stow, and tow more than any other van in its class. It has the maneuverability to get through the toughest jobs and fits in your garage, too. And now with 0% financing, it's built around your budget. Because if you can't picture your son behind the wheel of a monster truck or squeezing your family inside a 2-seat convertible, we don't blame you. The only thing you need to picture is where the Metris can take your business. The Mercedes-Benz Metris. With 0% financing and starting at $26,570, it's just right. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to run.
MSRP excludes all options, taxes, title, registration, transportation charge, and dealer prep fee. Options, model availability, and actual dealer price may vary. See dealer for details about costs and terms. Only valid on 2018 or 2019 Mercedes-Benz Metris vans. Qualified commercial customers only. Offer valid through January 2nd, 2020.
Here is your one-minute news brief. The Florida Highway Patrol is reporting that a hit-and-run accident left a 14-year-old girl from Micanopy dead and another 14-year-old girl in critical condition. Police are looking for an older model Ford pickup truck or Bronco missing its driver's side mirror. Tropical storm warnings have been issued for Florida's Gulf Coast from Yankeetown to the Panhandle as the National Hurricane Center tracks potential tropical storm Nestor. A former 28-year-old New Smyrna Beach high school teacher was arrested yesterday after authorities accused her of sexual misconduct with a 16-year-old male student. The Coast Guard is searching for a small plane in the Gulf of Mexico after a trauma surgeon flew the aircraft hundreds of miles beyond its intended destination. Key West's sensual annual Fantasy Fest celebration begins today, kicking off 10 days of festivities, and Disney World has added Cheetah Rivera and Warwick Davis to its list of celebrity narrators for this year's Candlelight Processional at Epcot. And that is your news brief from The Source.
Some sun giving way to increasing clouds on this Friday with a high between 76 in the northern part of the zone to 83 in the south. And Friday night will be cloudy and humid with periods of rain, those ranging from 67 in the northernmost part of the zone to 76 in the south. Saturday will be cloudy, breezy, and humid with showers and even a thunderstorm, the high 82 to 86. And for Sunday, partly sunny, warm and humid. There can be a shower or thunderstorm in spots in the afternoon, high 85 to 89. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Luby Bat Conservancy welcomes you to their 15th annual Florida Bat Festival on Saturday, October 26th. This year, Luby is celebrating its 30th anniversary. Come celebrate with them as they continue to spread bat awareness from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. Your batty fun includes games, live music, food, and of course, the largest bats in the world right here in our backyard. The date, again, is October 26th and is great fun for the entire family. www.luby.org. Rep Today, a one-day reptile event in Gainesville, October 26th, is at the Wyndham Garden at 2900 Southwest 13th Street. Call 863-268-4273 or go to www.repticon.com for more information and to purchase tickets. It may not be Jurassic Park, but you'll encounter live animals and see thousands of reptiles and other exotic animals. Again, that's October 26th at Wyndham Garden in Gainesville, because kids of all ages love reptiles. Rep Today.
Hi, I'm Brian, and I'm a comfort keeper. I spend a few hours each week caring for seniors in their homes, to lend a hand or just be there when they need me.
Being a comfort keeper is a rewarding and fulfilling career. Comfort keepers provide non-medical in-home care and companionship for seniors on a full or part-time basis.
Call 855-592.
It's Stu in for Glenn on the Glenn Beck program, at World of Stu on the Twitters. Glenn's going to be back on Monday. We've been looking at some of the Democratic proposals. We obviously had the debate this week, and there's a little bit of a competition going back and forth as to how much government is going to grow, how many of these new policies are going to go into effect, and how much it's going to cost us. Kind of a famous thing going back with Elizabeth Warren, who will not admit that she's raising taxes on middle class people, which is so weird and awkward and strange. She has this red line or something that she doesn't want to give a commercial to Republicans, and she's so bad at avoiding and being evasive that she just winds up repeating herself over and over again with that deer in headlights look that she gets. And this is the type of thing that Donald Trump is going to expose in a dramatic way in a debate if she actually becomes the nominee. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Let's talk for a minute about Bernie Sanders and his proposals. And Brian Riedel is with us. He's a senior fellow at Manhattan Institute. And this is a guy who, Brian, you're not some crazy person here. You're a person that, you're not some partisan conservative. You're looking at these things and you're saying, what are the costs, to the extent that even Vox has printed your analysis on many of these policies?
Hi, Stu. Yeah, when I decided to add up the cost of everything Bernie Sanders was offering, which, by the way, is difficult because every time you finish, he proposes something new. To the extent that it was possible, I relied on Bernie's own numbers. I relied on the Congressional Budget Office. I relied on the existing information. I wasn't, trying to do some right-wing agenda, cook the numbers. I said, for all proposals, let's first look for Bernie's data. And if Bernie's data is not available, let's look for the Congressional Budget Office. And only then, if there's no score, I will ballpark my own score for a proposal, but then I'll walk the reader through how I calculated it so that they could put in their own score if they want.
And it's very detailed, your breakdown here. We're going to tweet out the article, make sure that everybody can read the full detail. But let's start from the bottom, and we'll build to the actual total cost here, because it's almost to the point where you think it's a made-up number. We're almost there. Here we go. Starting with public school teacher salaries. That's an easy, low-cost expense. How much is that going to cost us over the next decade?
Sanders wants to spend $400 billion over 10 years, ensuring that all public school teachers earn at least $60,000 a year from day one.
Okay. All right. That's easy. I mean, $400 billion is almost nothing these days. How about more education spending? This is from K to 12.
That is $800 billion, just general expansions across the board.
Did he make any specificity as to what he's spending this on?
A lot of it would be Title I, low-income grants. A lot of it would be special education. A lot of it would be typical government special interest handouts for teachers who implement policies the Bernie Sanders way.
Okay. Now, we know eventually we're going to get to Infrastructure Week. We know it's around the corner at any time. Bernie's got a nice big Infrastructure Week going on if he becomes president. How much does that cost us?
$1 trillion.
Now we're at, $2.2 trillion. This is nothing. Not a big deal at all. Okay, next up.
It's it's nothing. It's only the cost of the Republican tax cuts that were supposed to end the world.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did. And has the world ended yet? I have not been keeping track.
No. But remember when $2.2 trillion was more money than you could imagine 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Now it's that's nothing.
Yeah, I have a theory that the tax cuts and net neutrality that were both going to end the world canceled each other out, and that's why we're still alive. That's just a theory, though. Okay, paid family leave is another big one. Popular proposal. People really seem to like it. How much does that cost?
$1.6 trillion.
So now we're at $3.8 trillion, if I'm keeping this scorecard correctly. Explain the Bernie Sanders housing proposal, because it's pretty freaking expansive.
It's $2.5 trillion. It's pretty vague. The $2.5 trillion comes from Sanders himself, but it's a way to basically guarantee low-income housing for all. He doesn't really specify that much how he would do it, other than there would be huge grants to states to build more houses and guarantee housing for all, paid for by you, the taxpayer.
Now, I know Bernie's got a bunch of houses, but the $2.5 trillion isn't actually coming from Bernie himself. He's not paying out of his own pocket for this, of course.
Oh, heavens no, you're paying.
All right, I want to make sure, because I knew Bernie had some cash. I did not know he had $2.5 trillion. All right, so now we're at 4.1, 5.1, $6.3 trillion. What's the total? What would the total budget be for the United States over this period? Do we know?
Well, the baseline, over the next 10 years, the federal government is going to spend $60 trillion.
Okay, so we've already spent an additional 7, so we're already up over 10%. Next up, we have the expansion of Social Security.
Yes, Social Security is going bankrupt, and Sanders wants to put more money so that it can go bankrupt faster. That's higher benefits at the bottom. Let's redistribute even more money upward to wealthy seniors than the current system already does.
And that costs how much?
That is about $1.8 trillion. Yeah, $1.8 trillion.
Unbelievable. Okay, so we're at $1.8 trillion, and we haven't started getting into the big stuff yet. We are still at the bottom of this budget for Bernie Sanders.
We're at about $8 trillion, which used to be an impossible amount of money, and now it's a rounding error.
Amazing. Okay, so now Bernie wants to make sure that people have a living wage. This is a big problem for Bernie. He wants to make sure people are making $15.
What about education?
What's that?
Did we skip education, or did we skip college education?
Oh, okay, sorry. College free. He wants free education. I did skip that one. Free college education. What's that costing us?
$3 trillion to pay off everybody's student loan in America and guarantee that every public college is free moving forward. Of course, the private colleges would not be free, and they would be completely hammered by this policy because everyone would just stampede to the free public colleges. So
right.
The private schools would be decimated. That's about $3 trillion.
So I just skipped $3 trillion. Please forgive me, but it was just, I didn't see it sitting over there. There was a big pile. I didn't even realize what it was. So an extra $3 trillion over in the corner. We're now up to $11.1 trillion. Now, and I will say, too, one minor thing about this free college thing that I don't hear tossed around that often. The value of college to an individual goes down when everyone's going. Right? Like you're no longer separating yourself for high-level jobs if every single person is going for free. Then it comes back to a merit-based system, which we were supposed to have anyway, but you've just wasted multiple trillions of dollars figuring it all out.
Right, you go from standard K-12 to standard K-16, and academic standards are going to be lower because schools aren't going to want all these new people flunking out, especially that'll cost them their government money. So, yeah, they're just going to lower standards, and we'll all have our standard K through 16, and you'll have to find different ways to signal to an employer that you know what you're doing.
All right, now we're going to get to the $15 an hour, full benefits, everybody out there. And I've heard that this may cause up to something like 50% of all people to be employed by the government, which would be an interesting proposal. How much does this cost, though? It has to be massive.
This is one where I had to walk the reader through my own estimate because nobody has really costed it out. But by my estimate, guaranteeing everybody who wants one a $15 an hour job plus full benefits would cost $30 trillion over the decade. And that's probably an underestimate.
That's a lot of money. Why is it an underestimate?
Because the numbers that we used are based on a $56,000 per person cost that a liberal think tank came up with. That was based on only paying $11.83 per hour. Bernie wants to pay $15. We also assume that only half. You're not just going to get the unemployed joining this program.
Right.
You're going to get everybody who's currently making less than $15 an hour is going to want in. Yet I only assume half of the people who would get a raise actually quit their job and go into this.
Wow.
Nor do I account for a recession or anything else like that where you're going to get even higher enrollment. So, I mean, you could actually, it could be double the $30 trillion if everybody who would actually get a raise from this and would take advantage of the fact that you can't be fired. This is a new job that you can't be fired from, no matter how lazy you are, and that you get $15 an hour. I mean, if everybody who would get a higher raise joined, it would actually be about $60 trillion.
So I'm going to put that on the side, an extra $30 trillion that may be in cost, because everything, and I'm glad you brought that up, because it shows how detailed you are here. This is not you're trying to inflate these numbers. You're actually undercutting them by a lot. And I will say the quality of work you're getting out of a person that you're paying $15 an hour for that cannot be fired no matter how bad they are at the job, it's not going to be a high quality of work.
Well, and think of the effect on the economy in terms of productivity. We're going to have people quit their private sector jobs to move into government make-work jobs that were created just to keep them busy and that they can't be fired from. And we're going to put, by my estimate, 45 million workers into these make-work community service jobs. Think of what that's going to do to the productivity and the economy. I mean, you're going to have an immediate recession.
All right, it's incredible. We're up to 41.2 trillion, at least. Now we have the biggest challenge that we fight.